When it comes to talking about Boy Meets World, I've already made several videos about it, but they were all mainly Monkee related and they had nothing to do with the show. So I figured for this video, since I found out that Disney banned I think 3 episodes from Boy Meets World, I figured I'd talk about it for a video. Boy Meets World first aired on the Disney Channel in 1993, and it quickly established itself as one of America's best teen sitcoms. Even if it had some weird episodes, the series follows Corey Matthews and his peers, and they navigate the confusing world of teenage hormones and adult expectations. The hit sitcom ran for 7 seasons and offered fans a comprehensive sense of closure, I guess. Though the sitcom didn't really contain any racy scenes or foul language, Disney removed 3 episodes from syndication. Yet, because of the show's mild tone, fans are still confused about why these episodes were censored. So, why were they banned, and how can fans still watch them in the present day? Disney wasn't really keen on promoting underage drinking. In Season 5, Episode 18, If You Can't Be With the One You Love, it explores Corey and Sean's relationship with alcohol in a pretty dark way. While at Kimberly Sussman's party, Corey decides to take a swig of liquid courage to lighten himself up. He then encourages his best friend Sean to join in on the fun. Though the boys have a fun night, things go from bad to worse when Sean starts drinking after every negative event in his life. The next day, he offers a scathing criticism of Mr. Feeney's curriculum and heads home to drown his sorrows in another beer. Yet when Sean's brother Jack sees that he's been drinking, he erupts and tells the boy about their father's alcoholism. This, of course, changes everything, and Sean makes a good effort to right his wrongs and get some help for his drinking problem, which, good lesson to learn, so why'd they ban it? You see, despite tackling a collection of real-life issues, Disney banned this episode for its frequent reference to underage drinking. Though the kids would have been around 16, that's still far too young to drink in the US. Not in Europe, though, but in the US, that's not the legal drinking age. So it's assumed that Disney was worried that the show's young fans would get the wrong impression, which, I mean, I guess I kind of get, but still, are they that stupid? Many fans were also disappointed in this episode because it completely ignored the issues surrounding social drinking and peer pressure. Instead of focusing on these problems, this episode arguably took things a step too far and made Sean a sloppy alcoholic after just a few days of trying alcohol. Plus, many people believe that if you can't be with the one you love undermines the triggers of living with an addicted parent, something that both Sean and Jack can relate to. Overall, this episode feels as if it had every chance to make a striking point, but failed to hit the mark every time. The next episode that got banned wasn't educational enough for Disney standards. Prom night is a massive aspect of many American shows, and crowding a bunch of rowdy teenagers into one hall can usually only mean one thing. In Season 5, Episode 22, Prom Isses, Corey and Sean are keen to lose their respective partners, Topanga and Angela. Though Angela is keen to wait for a more appropriate time, Topanga books a hotel room to ensure that they can have some alone time together. As viewers can imagine, nothing goes to plan, and the pair later decides to leave the hotel room and focus more on the joys of prom. Now this one I can kinda get because, is a massive topic in any coming-of-age show. So it seems really odd that Disney decided to pull this episode from syndication because of its references to premarital. In fact, none of the characters actually say the word, I can't say it on YouTube, I'm sorry. Anyway, since they don't really say the word, they instead use a wealth of uncomfortable and sometimes inaccurate innuendos. One of the main reasons why the episode was banned was because that it didn't provide any educational discussions surrounding the birds and the bees. I'm sorry. Which is important when trying to appeal to young people and their families. Because none of the teenagers actually say the you-know-what word, they also miss out on mentioning other important topics like consent and contraception. I can spell and read. Anyways, the hotel room mishaps and Alan and Amy's pregnancy announcement seemed to dampen Corey's big night, causing the importance of to be swept under the rug. Audiences also find this episode incredibly unrealistic, even for a lighthearted sitcom. Losing your card on prom night is a very common trope for American media, mainly because it reflects the desire of many teens. Yet a lot of fans believe that Promises ignores this desire and tends to focus on the negatives of having, instead of the, acceptable positives. Thus, this episode often feels like a surreal lecture about everything that could go wrong during a person's first time, rather than a joyful celebration of young love. Though, as adults, many viewers may roll their eyes at this dated episode, and it's easy to understand why Disney decided to pull the brakes on it. The final episode that got banned was about Sean and Angela. Sean and Angela's chat was deemed too risque. When focusing on a group of developing young couples, the topics of and relationships are bound to come up a few times. In season 6, we're not in season 5 anymore, so they stopped doing that. Episode 20, The Truth About Honesty, Corey and Topanga make everyone else feel uncomfortable by making a pact to always be completely honest about everyone and everything. During one of their group chats, Topanga asked Sean if he could have casual with any woman, who would it be? To which he quickly responds with Angela. But when Angela takes him up on that idea, he admits that he can't have with just anyone and must develop an emotional connection with the person beforehand. Though Sean and Angela's concerns about concerns about that are very valid and were probably relatable to a lot of contemporary viewers, Disney once again removed this episode due to the sexual themes. Unlike the previous episode, The Truth About Honesty shows the couple kissing and actually discussing the birds and the bees. Though the pair don't go into any graphic detail, it's quite refreshing to see young actors discuss their anxieties about intimacy rather than just engaging in dalliance and dalliance in order to fit in with the rest of the crowd. Yet, a lot of fans argue that this episode is all style and no substance. Sean and Angela spend a few seconds discussing their opinions on the thing before the spotlight is redirected towards Corey and Topanga. So not only does Boy Meets World struggle to discuss topics that are important to its young viewers / young audience, but it also finds it's difficult to explore each character's story in any real depth. If you want to watch the banned episodes, they're on Disney Plus. You can also buy them on Amazon Prime Video. And the series is rated O+, so it doesn't contain any harmful or offensive content. And despite being able to access the episodes, many fans appreciate why Disney decided to remove these episodes from syndication. The production company often prides itself on having a family-friendly brand image, and the awkward lives of teenagers don't exactly match up with Disney's pure expectations. Thanks for watching the video about Boy Meets World. There will be one more, and it's discussing why the show got canceled after like 7 seasons, which I'm sure there's like valid reasons what the show ran from like the 90s to the 2000s. I don't really know if they could have done more. They probably realistically could have. I don't know. It's not Saved by the Bell. What do I know?